So tell me, you were playing in the club when you were about 15, right?
And it was pretty funny, like before turning 18, I managed to open for like Fista's Mixwa,
Nice.
Casper New Vest, Major League, Christos, Vinny, Monique Bingham. And now we take a video and then people think we just capturing the moment. You know how we're going home to Shazam.
What song was that?
We want the track. We come here for business. My whole thing, like whether it's music I put out, whether it's a mix I put out, whether it's a show performance, like where I started with you, from where I'm playing that last song, we must have traveled.
What you putting out, you feel good about, you do something with it and it does something for somebody else.
Yeah.
What happens after you put it out is none of your business.
Yeah, that's God in the universe.
Yeah.
Boom. Support from like Shimza, playing it in Dubai, Lemon and Herb, Hyena, like worldwide support. Kasango was like one of the first people to drop the song and support it. Was like Cairo, playing it at fucking June, which was also like iconic, like June Club Paris, like what the fuck. And her aesthetic, she has this big like poofy afro almost. And my mate was like, can I touch your hair?
No.
I'll take one person that comes to me and says, bro, that saved my life, over a full house of people dancing.
Could you give me one moment that you feel was like a standout moment for you?
Like I think
it all starts with a feeling.
Welcome to Roots FM with your host, Kamanga.
And that's the thing, right? It's like when you really start to look at it, first of all, you mentioned that you would bring or you would look at new music and introduce people to different sounds and try and touch somebody. And that's really, for me, the job of a DJ. In whatever country or place you're in, if you make one person on that dance floor feel good or feel something or hear something that's interesting or they find in a different way, then your job is done.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important thing to remember, right? To like keep you grounded is like, in as much as we live in an age of social media and people are blowing up overnight and like there's the social media aspect that you have to focus on, you pick this because it's art.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's what you're putting out is art. Some people might like it, some people might not like it, but it fulfills you as a person, and that's the main thing, right? Is what you putting out, you feel good about, you do something with it, and it does something for somebody else.
Yeah.
What happens after you put it out is none of your business.
Yeah, that's God in the universe.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the most important thing to keep people grounded, but there is also a journey as like an artist. I think where you start out and you're learning, right? You're taking in things, you're being mentored, you learning this, learning that, but there comes a point, like a transition point, where it becomes you're now an artist, right? You're no more learning. Now you perform now.
Training wheels are off now.
Exactly, right? And you're out in the world, you're playing at gigs, you're doing this, whatever it is, like in anything in life, there is that transition. Like if you're a teenager, then you go to work in life, or if you're in a relationship or whatever that is, there's always that transition point where you're in it now. Right? And then there's also a point as an artist where it's now a career. It's a job. Yeah. Where you're going out, you're performing. It's no more a passion or a side gig. It's no more, I'm just doing this for fun. And see what happens. It's like now I need to go and perform.
Yeah, the seriousness.
You can't miss your gigs. You can't be late. You can't mess up your sets. Like there's that pressure as well. So like with everything you've mentioned, I think you've been on such an interesting journey. But what point do you feel you realize that transition where you're now, okay, this is like a serious thing? Like, in as much as your family might want you to do all these things, but you realize in yourself that, okay, this is like actually my career, it's my job now.
For me, like I didn't know anything about production until like when I started at 20 going on to 21 with Ryan.
Okay.
Like for me, it was like a mystery, like how the fuck did you make the song?
Yeah.
Where did the sound come from? And I was just DJ straight up, like just a collector music
Yeah.
DJ, still student of the game. And when I got to see, like, now being with Ryan, like, fuck, like, this is the life of an artist, like how this guy like wakes up, how you have to sit in studio, how you have deadlines for shit. This releases like now, and you have 3 days to finish the song, and now you're stuck, or now it's like, and then learning also like the intricacies that I had no clue about, like a mix down, engineering of a song, mastering, what it takes to like vocalists, recording, setting up, and like all these like small intricacies that was such a far-fetched thing for me, and then getting to learn that I think that was like one of the main things where I'm like, nah, like this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life. Because it was, as I mentioned, like in varsity, like I was doing varsity, and then I was always like, I'll DJ, I'll play it, like just shows and stuff, like, and at that point was like, it reached that point where it was like kind of a side thing, like, okay, it will be a side thing, I'm studying for this, I'm gonna go into this as a career, and then when I started with Ryan, that was like, scrap, like this, like music, living and breathing and eating this every single day, relentlessly, is exactly what I want to do.
Dope.
So yeah, that was like the main like turning point for me. And I think, and then the second point was like when I left him, 2019, started doing it like by myself. Like, and my own studio, like going to like having the discipline of like, hey, you don't feel like it, but let's get up, let's go. I feel extremely like undermotivated. I feel like shit today. But like, let me just show up to studio, and even if I put in just a hat and a kick, I showed up. And like, that discipline of just, and was a lot like, I feel like 2019, 2020, 2021, it was that 3 years. And I think also COVID, indirectly in a way, I see it as like, it kind of helped me in a way that it like reset the game, where like everybody's like now from scratch again. Nobody's on tour, nobody's doing things, how could I say, in a way like ahead. You have time to catch up,
exactly,
for the lack of a better term. And that was like the 3 years of like every single fucking day in the studio, whether the song was shit, whether it was hot, whether like, and just going through ideas and techniques, and a lot of like unlearning what I learned from him, which was how he writes music. That's his fingerprint and identity, to relearning how Zee Essential and how Zee wants the kick to sound. How I want the hats or the synths to sit in the mix. Like relearning all of that stuff. That took me like those 3 years, was just like locked in before my debut release. Like, I mean, I did in 2019, I did a release with Tulani, the Warriors label, Do It Now. Shout out Tulani, also like amazing big brother in the game. Like, someone's always given me advice, always put me on, like, much love and gratitude to him as well. Like, he was the first guy to be like, yo bro, do a remix. And I'm like, bruh, I've never done a remix in my life. But he's like, well, now's the time to start, and gave me that platform that was not a small platform. Like, he's established a beautiful label locally, and now it's doing such amazing things, like also like on vinyl, like credible records and just good quality music. And he's just such an OG in the game as well. And then like that was 2019, and I was like, okay, I did this like remix, which was like my first and only like local release that I've done so far. And then fast track to 2019, and then it was that period of learning. 2023, like when I dropped Time with Ben Haiti on iMusica, which was like my first big international release on a big, well-respected label. First time also seeing like my song getting played by these huge guys, Julian Wasserman, Lauren Pure opening her show and like mentioning my name on the like this track by Zee Essential and Ben Haiti, like mentioning those things, like was like, yo, okay, like this was that preparation time to like now start putting out stuff that like was on that level that I initially from the start always saw internationally,
Yeah.
like that kind of sound. And again, like I think the blessing in disguise that like in a way God and the universe kind of also like pushes you to keep on is that you'll get these 360 moments. So one of them being, as I mentioned earlier, like Iron Music did these guest mixes on Proton Radio, and used to have a lot of guys off the label that also used to do guest mixes, like Buddha Kid, like a lot of the guys that were releasing on Iron Musica, like, and even like Aim 2, which is like the sub label. And fast forward like then to 2023 to release on his label.
Nice.
As part of the comp, and like when he comes down, he's played, I think the following year or so, he played like its personal festival here in SA, and for him to be like, yo, Z, come through to the hotel, like I wanna chat, chop it up, like break some bread.
That's cool.
And like getting to chat to him and like, fuck, like, bro, do you realize the influence like from a kid, and like now that he sees me as like a fellow artist, and like, yo, bro, when you're sending me new music, like, I'm starting this new label that's more Afroist, like send me some shit, like to be on that like level now with people that you saw as your heroes and like you looked up to is like, fuck, come on, like, and like Mujo is another perfect example, like that song that I did with Bunshapa and Toshi, which also like shows you like a testament of like just the power of manifestation. Before, when I was still like learning with Ryan, and like before I knew how to like write and finish a complete record, like I worked a lot in the studio with him, and I would add pieces and ideas, but never like I wrote and finished this whole song myself. And I remember it was one of I think my second or third time ever being in Cape Town, and I went through with Ryan, and then Ryan did his own thing, and I was out with Blanca Mazimela, like also such a gem of a dude.
For sure.
And like we were just chatting, and he was also like giving me insight because he's also been like in the game for so long, and also such a G. And I told him like, yo, bro, like for me, the day I do Afro track, dream vocalist Toshi. I said this was 2018. And then fast track end up so happened through Tanzga Mineshaft and doing the Africa Distinct show, like Claudio, who's the head of that, like in Belgium, he hit me up. He's like, yo, Toshi and her team want to do, like, she's doing a new release. She wants to do an interview, keen to do it. So I was like, yeah, fuck. And it was like a over the phone interview, just on the call. I had like questions written down, chatted to her, and like as she was saying, I was like writing down the answers and stuff, and like did this whole like intro and interview for like her release. Also like together with at the time her agent was like Sarah from Favoritism, and like did this amazing interview with her. And like I already went into that interview with so much of like, as a fan, like knowledge of her, that I was like, fuck, I'm not gonna ask her like what everybody asked about Booyah, about all those hits and stuff. Like I want to ask her like some deep shit, which she like really appreciated.
Nice.
And it was the beginning of that year, and I was like, fuck, like and I just emailed like at the time the agent Sarah, and I was like, what's the chances of Toshi being available to do a track? And she's like, oh, she's keen, like she loved your interview,
that's dope.
like she'd love to work with you. I'm like, what? No way. It's like, okay, let's do it. And then sketched something, got the vocals, and was like span of like 2 years just working that song, because like it was also such an important song for me, like it's just simply because of her name on it. And as I mentioned earlier, like that I said the dream song I do, like my first ever Afro house release will be a Toshi. So I was like, I never got it right for like 2 years. And was like V 1560. And then eventually like, and I always like, I would write, and then I was like, okay, this version, test it out. I'm like, nah. Then I would work on other stuff, I'd constantly go back to it over a span of 2 years. And then eventually like that connection with Boon happened, and I was like, bro, this, like, and I did like another version, which was like, okay, this version is, it's winning, like it's getting there. And I was like, Boon, bro, like, and this was before like he was also like, he's doing so incredible now, shout out to him as well. And I was like, bro, I sent him this thing, it was like 90% done, and he's like, yo, bro, say less. And like send it to him like say at like 8 p.m. at like fucking 3 in the morning or so. He sends me the track back. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this?
Fire.
Yo, like crazy. And
Nice.
so crazy that he's like, yeah, bro, I sent this to Mujo. And at the time, like Mujo was playing a lot of his stuff as well. Before like Amsterdam and stuff was released, Mujo was rocking that shit overseas. And he's like, yeah, Mujo wants it for Calamar. I was like, what? Like, you're joking. And he's like, yeah, he wants to push for the release like soon. And that week before we had that talk, and he's like, okay, we're confirming like now Mujo wants it, it's going to Calamar. Like 3 days later, the contracts were sent to sign it. That week before that weekend, I did my debut at Truth.
Nice.
And I still posted a reel to like be like, oh, shout out for Truth and the guys that hosted me. It was an amazing time. And the video I took, or like the reel rather, that I posted of me playing was me dropping Mujo's remix of Moth to a Flame.
Nice.
And
fire.
The following week later, signs to his label, and I'm like, what? Like, this is a funny game you're playing right now.
That's God, man.
Yeah. Like that was like, fuck, okay. You know, this, as I said, like, it's those moments where you like, eventually like, fuck, it's been 2 years working on the song, forget this thing, like, let's scrap it, and then God will be like, hey.
Yeah.
Like a full 360, like, fuck. And then at the time, I mean, like, Mujo was on like tour at Swedish House Mafia because of the remix. Yeah. Also doing so amazing, and he's also paved the way. Like, that song's done incredible, like, just in terms of support. Yeah. And yeah, that just like also like solidified that. Like, I feel like was also another manifestation thing of like, I don't know if you remember 2020 when we were all in lockdown, like everybody was doing those dope like live streams.
Yeah.
Like we get coffee at his house.
Yeah.
Taylor of us did that whole Unity series.
Yeah, Shims also had something.
Shimza had. And I was just like, I want a song that's played by some dope fucking dude that I love on a live stream. And boom. That was that song with Toshi, and with like support from like Shimza, playing it in Dubai, Lemon and Herb, Hyena, like worldwide support. Kasango was like one of the first people to drop the song and support it. Was like Cairo, playing it at fucking June, which was also like iconic, like June Club Paris, like what the fuck.
And we always watched that wide angle vision,
with the logo there, that corner where they play. Yeah. I was like, we all want to be in that corner. And like now hearing a song there, and seeing the response and like the reaction.
How did that feel?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Like crazy. As I said, like that was like confirmation. Like, you in this now.
Yeah.
Roots FM.